Welcome to the Historical Poster Redesign Project. In this module, you'll explore the purpose of the assignment, the work you'll create, and the process you'll follow from analysis to final production. Before you begin, click on one of the blue questions buttons to learn more about the project. You'll begin by studying the original poster, then develop concepts through sketches and roughs before refining your work into a final poster and booklet. You'll learn how to analyze historical graphic design, apply typography and composition principles, and support your design decisions with evidence and intent. You will redesign a historical poster for a contemporary audience, write a short design rationale, and assemble a booklet that documents your process from analysis to final design. Before redesigning a poster, designers begin by looking closely. Every design leaves clues about its audience, purpose, and visual strategy. Select each highlighted area to explore some of the decisions that shape how the poster communicates. Explore the relationship between imagery and text. Consider how visual elements support the message, who the intended audience may have been, and what the poster was trying to communicate. Not all answers will be obvious. Part of this exercise involves making informed interpretations based on the visual evidence available. Examine the typefaces used in the original poster, including their classification, weight, scale relationships, and spacing. Consider how typography contributes to hierarchy and how it guides viewers through the information. Ask yourself what information is emphasized, what appears secondary, and how the designer establishes reading order. Examine the compositional structure of the poster. Consider hierarchy, balance, visual flow, and the role of color. Think about whether color serves a functional purpose, an expressive purpose, or both. Together, composition and color help shape how viewers experience the message. You've explored several ways designers analyze visual communication. Before continuing, consider your own approach. Which aspect would you investigate first when analyzing a historical poster? Color and composition influence how information is organized and experienced. They can reveal how designers create emphasis, balance, and visual impact. Designers rarely rely on a single perspective when analyzing a piece of work. Typography, imagery, color, and composition all provide clues. The goal is not to find the one correct place to start, but to develop a habit of looking closely before making design decisions. Strong design ideas still need strong production practices. Select the magnified detail in the top right corner and the production marks in the bottom left corner to explore two important production requirements. Images that look acceptable on a screen may not perform well in print. For this project, images should be at least 300 dpi and prepared for print production. You'll also need to ensure images are in the CMYK color space rather than RGB so that colors reproduce more accurately during printing. Stable file formats such as TIFF, PSD, AI, and EPS are preferred for production-ready work. Bleeds and crop marks help printers trim documents accurately. Any artwork that reaches the edge of the page should extend beyond the trim line to prevent unwanted white borders after cutting. Remember to include both bleeds and crop marks when exporting production-ready PDFs. Strong design work develops through multiple rounds of exploration and refinement. Select each stage of the process to see how ideas evolve from early concepts to final submission. Begin with exploration. Create at least 15 hand-drawn thumbnail sketches. Focus on generating ideas rather than producing polished artwork. Experiment with different ways of communicating your message using balance, rhythm, contrast, proportion, proximity, and other design principles. Once you've explored multiple directions, identify the 3 concepts with the strongest potential for development. Using your strongest sketches, develop at least 5 refined rough compositions. These roughs should be larger, more detailed, and clearly different from one another. This is the stage where you experiment with different typefaces, color combinations, imagery, and layout options. Keep track of your iterations and annotate your work to demonstrate how your ideas evolved. Ask yourself whether the design communicates your intended message, whether the spacing and balance are working as intended, and whether contrast is being used effectively to guide attention. Select your strongest rough and develop 1 to 3 mock-ups at full size. Unlike the rough stage, the goal here is refinement rather than exploration. Pay close attention to alignment, hierarchy, typography, color, and spacing. Begin using character and paragraph styles, and print your work at actual size whenever possible, so you can evaluate how it performs in its intended format. Your final submission includes more than the redesigned poster. You'll also submit a booklet containing your analysis, design rationale, original poster, redesign, and supporting content. In addition, you'll provide production files, including a PDF, packaged source files, fonts, and linked assets to ensure the project can be reproduced correctly. You've explored the major stages of the design process. Before continuing, consider where you would expect the most learning to occur. Refinement often reveals strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for improvement that weren't visible in early concepts. Learning can occur throughout the design process. Exploration, refinement, and feedback each contribute in different ways. The most important takeaway is that strong design develops through iteration rather than a single breakthrough. You've reached the end of the project overview. If you've explored all sections of the project brief, select Yes to complete the module. If you don't see a Submit button after selecting Yes, return to the project overview and continue exploring any sections you may have missed.